Imagine waking up every morning with an unstoppable fire inside you, a spark so strong that no setback, no bad day, and no excuse can put it out. Most people dream of this level of drive, but few ever taste it for more than a fleeting moment. Think about it. How many times have you promised yourself you'd start that workout routine, launch that idea, or finally break that bad habit? And yet, despite good intentions, life always finds a way to drain your energy and bury your dreams under distractions, fears, and endless to-do lists. The truth is, motivation often feels like an unreliable friend. There when you don't need it, gone when you do. But what if that wasn't true? What if motivation could be summoned at will, shaped by your actions, and turned into a daily habit instead of a rare stroke of luck? Picture a version of yourself who doesn't wait to feel like it, but instead knows exactly how to switch on energy, focus, and purpose, even on the toughest days. Imagine no longer wishing for motivation, but living in a state where it becomes a natural extension of who you are. This isn't about reading fluffy quotes or listening to another inspirational video that fades by bedtime. It's about discovering what makes you tick at the deepest level, learning how your mind and body truly work, and tapping into a source of drive that can power you through any obstacle. There is a proven way to ignite your inner engine and keep it running no matter what life throws your way. The real question is, are you ready to learn how to break free from the roller coaster of ups and downs and finally take charge of your own energy and results? Motivation is one of the most misunderstood forces in our lives. We crave it, we chase it, and we blame ourselves when we can't seem to hold on to it. Many people believe motivation is purely emotional, a burst of excitement that arrives unexpectedly and disappears just as quickly. But if you look deeper, you'll find that true lasting motivation is not an accident. It's not a gift reserved for the lucky few who wake up inspired every day. It's a science, a skill, and a system that anyone can learn to master with the right understanding and tools. Think about how often we tell ourselves, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'm just not motivated right now. Those words have killed more dreams than any external obstacle ever could. The harsh truth is that waiting for the perfect moment to feel motivated is a recipe for inaction. Life rarely hands us the ideal conditions to chase our goals. Responsibilities pile up, stress creeps in, and doubts whisper that we're not good enough or that it's too late to try. In this struggle, we tend to forget that motivation doesn't precede action. Action creates motivation. Scientific research has repeatedly shown that our brains and bodies are wired to respond to movement and progress. When we take even the smallest step forward, our brains release chemicals that make us feel more capable, more energetic, and more willing to keep going. This is why people often say, I didn't feel like going to the gym, but once I started, I felt amazing. It's not magic. It's biology. Understanding this is the first step in shifting from being a victim of low motivation to becoming the creator of your own drive. Another key factor is clarity. Vague wishes like I want to be successful or I want to get in shape have no power to pull us forward because they lack definition and urgency. The mind needs a clear target and a strong reason to care. Without this, it drifts and gets easily distracted by the endless noise around us. But when you know exactly what you want and why you want it, your mind focuses like a laser. The good news is that learning how to manage your thoughts, physical state, and daily habits can transform motivation from a fleeting mood into a reliable source of energy and action. It doesn't matter what your starting point is. What matters is your willingness to learn the principles that unlock this power within you. By doing so, you break the cycle of waiting for inspiration and step into a life where you generate it day after day. In today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy world, staying motivated has become a universal struggle. Many people start off with big dreams and ambitious goals, yet somewhere along the way, their energy fades, their excitement dwindles, and procrastination quietly takes its place. The gym membership goes unused, the business idea stays scribbled in a notebook, and the promise to live a better life turns into a regret for tomorrow. It's not because people are lazy or uncommitted by nature. It's because they rely on a version of motivation that is fragile and fleeting, the kind that depends on moods, circumstances, or a sudden burst of inspiration. This dependence on temporary feelings is one of the greatest challenges modern individuals face. Life rarely aligns perfectly to make room for our dreams. Work deadlines, family responsibilities, financial pressures, and emotional setbacks can all drain the energy we would rather devote to personal growth and meaningful goals. So people settle for comfort zones, telling themselves that someday they'll find the time and drive to make real changes. That elusive someday often never arrives. Another part of the problem lies in how motivation is taught and talked about. Society tends to romanticize motivation as something mystical, a lightning bolt of inspiration that strikes the chosen few who are destined for greatness. This myth sets people up for failure. When the inevitable low days come, and they will, most people think they've lost what it takes. They doubt themselves and feel guilty, believing they lack discipline or mental strength. This emotional roller coaster feeds an endless loop. High moments lead to big promises. Low moments lead to inaction, which then reinforces feelings of failure. Over time, repeated disappointments chip away at confidence and create a sense of powerlessness. This is the real danger, not just lost goals, but a growing belief that motivation is beyond our control. Worse yet, the modern environment bombards people with distractions designed to hijack their attention and weaken focus. Notifications, social media, and constant noise scatter mental energy, making it even harder to sustain motivation long enough to complete important tasks. People feel overwhelmed by choices, yet starved for real progress. The challenge, therefore, is not simply to get motivated, but to understand how to build an internal system that generates and protects motivation regardless of circumstances. People need to learn how to anchor their drive in clear purpose, regulate their emotional states, and develop habits that turn discipline into second nature. Until this shift happens, many will continue to wonder why they never seem to have enough motivation to become who they truly want to be. Understanding the deeper mechanics of motivation begins with accepting that it is not an abstract gift, but a blend of mental clarity, physical energy, and practical habits. One key element is recognizing the powerful connection between the body and the mind. How you move, breathe, and hold yourself has a direct influence on your mood and willingness to act. Research shows that simple changes in posture or breathing can instantly affect energy levels. For example, sitting hunched over or breathing shallowly signals to the brain that you are tired or stressed, which reduces drive. On the other hand, standing tall, taking deep breaths, and using an energetic tone can spark an immediate shift in state. This mind-body link explains why athletes use warm-ups and rituals to trigger peak performance before every game. Another fundamental aspect is clarity. Vague goals rarely inspire action. If someone says, I want to be healthier, it does little to drive daily effort. However, a clear goal, like I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 4 times a week and eating balanced meals, creates a map the brain can follow. Clarity sharpens focus and reduces overwhelm by turning dreams into step-by-step plans. The clearer the target, the stronger the pull. Once clarity is established, small, consistent actions become the fuel for sustained motivation. People often wait for massive changes to feel inspired, but big changes rarely happen without small wins, building momentum first. Taking one tiny step, like doing 10 push-ups or writing 1 page, produces a feeling of progress. This feeling releases dopamine, a chemical that boosts motivation naturally. Over time, these micro-injections add up to significant achievements, proving that consistency beats intensity when it comes to long-term motivation. Environment also plays a huge role in either supporting or sabotaging motivation. Surroundings filled with distractions or negative influences drain willpower. On the other hand, a supportive environment, inspiring reminders, accountability partners, or spaces designed for focus can make staying motivated easier and more automatic. Many high performers design their surroundings deliberately to encourage the behaviors they want and discourage the ones they don't. Lastly, self-talk is an underrated tool. The questions and words people use shape how they feel. Asking, why can't I do this, weakens resolve, while asking, what can I do right now to move forward, ignites solutions. Shifting internal language from defeat to possibility turns setbacks into lessons rather than excuses to quit. By mastering these principles, managing physiology, clarifying goals, celebrating small actions, designing environments, and upgrading self-talk, anyone can transform motivation from a fleeting mood into a daily habit. It becomes a predictable result, not an unreliable wish. Picture a moment when everything seems to be against you. You've had a terrible week at work, your energy's low, and every plan you made feels impossible to achieve. You wake up feeling defeated before the day even begins. This is the exact point where most people surrender to the voice in their head that says, not today, maybe tomorrow. This single moment, however, holds more power than an entire year of planning and hoping. And then it is in these low points where motivation is nowhere to be found that the real shift can happen, not by waiting for inspiration, but by choosing to act anyway. Consider the decision to get up and move when every cell in your body screams for rest. Imagine choosing to go for that 10-minute walk, even though a part of you wants to pull the blanket over your head. In that instant, you prove to yourself that your actions are not slaves to your feelings. That decision creates a spark of self-respect. You may not run a marathon today, but you have taken control, and your mind registers this tiny victory as proof that you are capable of following through regardless of your mood. This key moment is more powerful than any motivational quote or pep talk because it demonstrates that motivation often follows action, not the other way around. One small push sets off a chain reaction. Your walk energizes you, your mind clears up, you make a healthier choice for breakfast, and by noon, you feel capable enough to tackle that task you were dreading. Each small action feeds the next, and before you realize it, the day you thought would be wasted turns out to be productive and empowering. It is in moments like this, when the temptation to postpone is strongest, that people rewrite their own stories. They stop relying on the unpredictable surge of motivation and instead cultivate it by mastering their response to discomfort and excuses. This ability to move despite doubt, tiredness, or fear builds unshakable confidence. It sends a message to the mind that no obstacle is bigger than the power to decide and act. Over time, these small decisions, repeated day after day, turn into an identity. The identity of a person who follows through no matter what. They may still feel fear, exhaustion, or discouragement, but they trust themselves to keep moving forward. This key moment, the decision to act in spite of everything, transforms motivation from a passive feeling into an active force, and that changes everything about what a person can achieve. When people think about motivation, they often picture a lightning bolt moment, a sudden rush of excitement that magically makes every goal feel within reach. But real, lasting motivation doesn't work this way. It isn't something that visits at random and disappears without warning. It is, in truth, a living process built through understanding how our minds and bodies operate, how our environment influences our behavior, and how our habits either strengthen or weaken our commitment over time. Throughout history, those who accomplish extraordinary things do not rely on moods or wishful thinking. They have learned to work with the natural laws of human psychology and physiology. They know that changing physical state through movement, posture, and breath can snap them out of fatigue or doubt in seconds. They recognize that vague wishes inspire nothing but frustration, so they sharpen their goals until they become clear, measurable targets with a deep personal why behind them. This clarity transforms an abstract dream into a compelling vision. More importantly, they do not wait for big breakthroughs to feel satisfied. They find power in small wins and daily actions. Each tiny step forward signals progress to the brain, releasing chemicals that boost focus and energy. This momentum builds upon itself like a snowball rolling downhill, gaining size and speed as it goes. Instead of feeling trapped in a cycle of procrastination, they live in a cycle of forward motion that fuels even more motivation. These people also pay careful attention to their environment and self-talk. They remove unnecessary distractions, surround themselves with supportive cues and people who remind them of their standards. They replace doubts and complaints with questions that push them toward solutions. This combination of thoughtful design and intentional language helps protect their mental space from negativity and excuses. Most importantly, they know that the true test of motivation happens on the days they feel like doing nothing. It is in these moments when comfort calls louder than discipline that they choose to act anyway. They understand that motivation is less about waiting and more about deciding. With each decision to move, they strengthen trust in themselves, proving again and again that they are not slaves to fleeting feelings. This is the real lesson about motivation. It is not passive, it is active. It responds to how we think, how we move, what we focus on, and what we repeatedly do. Anyone willing to apply these principles can turn motivation from an unpredictable visitor into a loyal companion that shows up day after day, fueling actions and transforming dreams into reality. Now that you know motivation is not a mysterious force, but a system you can control, it's time to take this understanding and put it into real practice. Don't just close this page and hope you'll feel more driven tomorrow. Make the decision right now to break the cycle of waiting for the perfect mood. The first step is simple but powerful. Stand up, stretch your body. Can feel how even the smallest physical movement can shift your energy. This is your proof that action drives motivation, not the other way around. Next, grab a notebook or open a blank page on your phone. Write down one clear, specific goal you want to achieve in the next 30 days. Not a vague wish, but a concrete target you can measure and celebrate. Beneath that goal, write exactly why it matters to you, the real personal reason that makes it worth your effort on hard days. This why is your fuel when excuses appear. Now break this goal into tiny daily actions. What can you do today, in the next 10 minutes even, to move closer to it? Maybe it's making a call, going for a walk, writing one paragraph, or organizing your workspace. Whatever it is, do it immediately after reading this. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Create it by moving first. Look around your environment. What distractions or obstacles are silently draining your focus? Commit to removing just one. It could be turning off notifications, cleaning your desk, or telling someone about your goals so they can hold you accountable. Lastly, make a promise to yourself to celebrate every small win. Progress, not perfection, keeps you going. When you see yourself following through, even in tiny ways, you build self-trust. That trust becomes your unshakable source of energy for bigger challenges. You now hold the basics of transforming motivation into a daily habit. The only thing left is action. So don't wait for tomorrow. Prove to yourself today that you can become the kind of person who acts even when you don't feel like it. One decision, one step, one day at a time. That's how real change begins. Start now.